What if the most common type of relationships today weren't actually relationships at all? The most common type of relationships today are actually trauma bonds. And you might not believe me when I say that, but I'm going to share with you what a trauma bond actually is. When most of us think of trauma bonds, we think of, an abuser and a victim in a romantic relationship, and that is a form of trauma bond. But the mechanics of trauma bonds, they go so much deeper than that. You see, when the most common type of relationship is a trauma bond, what that means is that the people of the planet, of the earth, have been conditioned into forms of themselves that have limited access to their own free will and control over themselves. An example of this is that anyone who grew up in a safe childhood was conditioned to submit to any unsafe energy in their adulthood. The way that you survived your childhood is now the way that you will survive the world. So if you survive childhood by pretending to be happy, to be approved of, in the face of your abusers, every time you meet an abuser in the future, your subconscious has a pattern for you to pretend to be happy in the face of that abuser for that abuser's approval. These are the essence of trauma bonds. You see, the abuser doesn't have to traumatize you. The abuser only requires for you to have trauma. That abuser's energy, just their presence, triggers that trauma and triggers you into the first responses you learned in response to trauma, which are often seeking approval from the abuser, making excuses for the abuser, not seeing the truth about the abuser, fawning over the abuser. This is the most common type of relationships on the planet Earth in its low vibrational, lower consciousness state. Trauma bonds are a mechanism that restricts a person's sovereignty over themselves. These also occur in the threatening of physical needs. We all need money. We all need a job. If there are abusers present at a job, you must submit to the abuser to receive that money, to survive that job. So your choice to stay at this workplace isn't your own choice, technically. It's not a sovereign choice. It's coerced. Coercion. What is the purpose of this? If this is true, if what I'm saying is true, why would all relationships need to be trauma bonds? Why would this occur? It has to do with energy, money. Money is also energy. There is a level of cruelty that one can embody that disconnects them from their light entirely. Light is your energy. Light, your life force, is what gives you life on this earth. So when someone acts in such a cruel way that they disconnect from their light and their life force, they have a need for light. They have a need for life force. And this need is met by those who fall victim to their trauma bonding. It's a perpetuating cycle. Those fall victim to it, then become it. They are trauma bonded. They become cruel. They lose their light. And they bind others. It's a cycle that is created by evil energies on the planet. Energies of evil. And we all know, even if we don't fully admit it or fully see it, we're exposed to it all the time. The Epstein files have just recently come out. There's murder stories all over YouTube. So, it's no question of whether or not this planet has evil on it. But why can we not fully admit it is the question we must ask ourselves. Why don't we see it? What about our perception is distorted so that we aren't seeing it in our real lives, in our jobs, in our relationships? What is going on in our psyche that we can be exposed to something, that we know something is real, we know something exists, but our perception is blind to it? So the questions we must ask ourselves. Our perception is blind for many good reasons. Experiencing evil is not something I would wish upon any soul.